That was just beautiful. Give her another hand. You know, we want to send out a special thanks from Bob to Dave Thiel. You know, Bob has a lot of helpers. He has his own little regiment, I like to call it. You know, he sends out an SOS and everybody responds. But it takes a lot to put this on. Okay? That's how much he cares. That's how much the people who support him care to bring this event to you. At this time, we would like to bring another friend who will share a story about Daysun. Carrie, would you please come forward?
Hi, I'm Carrie Sveen and this is Jessica Schultz. We are very good friends of Daysun's. There's not much I can even say that everyone has not already heard several times. Everyone I'm sure has already heard how wonderful of a person Daysun was, how well liked he was, and how he always made everyone feel welcome and as if they belonged. I cannot think of one time that he ever made anyone feel unwanted, even if others wanted him to. He had the biggest heart. I know he learned it from Dave after Daysun passed. I spent some time over at Dave and Judy's just hanging out, and it was always nice. Dave always went out of his way to make people feel welcome and at home. He always made me feel like family, that's for sure. Dave and Daysun used to have a garden they worked in. Dave loved to plant stuff, or that's how it seemed anyways. Daysun didn't always like to go help, but he would always go so he could spend that time with his dad and help him. There are several stories I have about them. It's hard to think of just one time that Daysun was there for us. I guess the one that sticks out in my head the most is when I was staying at a friend's house, when I became uncomfortable and didn't want to be there. The first person I called was Daysun, and he did not hesitate, he was there. He came and got me and took me somewhere that I was comfortable at. It was so great knowing anytime I needed help, he was there for me. And he was that way for everyone. I'm not really sure what else to say, but thank you everybody for being here. I hope everybody understands that this is a give back and it's very important to Bob. And Bob, thank you for everything. You are truly the greatest person ever. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you. I know that was hard, but I'm glad that you spoke so people would know. At this time, we're going to call a person who knew Daysun, who will share some things with you, and I hope that she'll be able to keep herself together. Harry, come on up.
Those of you who have been here before probably heard me speak. My name is Harry Summers, and I'm a friend of Daysun's family. And on behalf of Daysun's family, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I'd like to thank all of the volunteers from the Minot Air Force Base, including the Keystone Club, the Boys and Girls Club of America from the Minot Air Force Base Youth Program. The guys came and the kids came last night, and we had about 80 people putting all these bikes and all the backpacks together, and we did that in about 2.5 hours. It was a sight to behold. It was wonderful. So thank you to all of those volunteers. A big thank you also goes to Homesteaders for the food that they have provided for us tonight. And for our musicians and the sound system people, thank you for sharing your talents. In addition, we also need to thank the firefighters, of course, for being here and helping us tonight. They also put together some of the bikes. We thank them. Giving away and giving back all of these things that are here tonight didn't just happen by accident. A lot of time and money went into the planning and the providing for you this evening. All of this is done in loving memory of Daysun. Dayson's Day of Giving. Now, some of you may already know about Daysun. So those of you who do, please bear with me. Those of you who don't know about Daysun, I'd like to share a little bit more about him. If Daysun were with us today, he'd be 27 years old. He'd probably be married and have kids of his own. He might be working with his Uncle Bob, and they together would be helping people to repair their homes. But he never had a chance to do that. 10 years ago, when Daysun was 17, he had many gifts of his own. He was the only child of Dave, Bob's brother, and his wife Judy. He was compassionate, as you've heard, and kind. He had an uncanny ability to put anyone he was with at ease. He was easily able to connect with any grown-up or be best buds with a little kid. He had a tremendous giving spirit. He helped, he gave of himself, and when the job was complete, he wouldn't stand there with his hand out. He'd be instead asking, "What can I do next?" He was a bright, shining light that was soft and warm and dear, and everybody loved him. That night, 10 years ago, Daysun did as many teens do. He went to a birthday party. Sometime later, he needed a ride home, and a friend offered. He didn't really want to go with this fellow, having said days before, "I don't like to ride with him because he drives too fast." But that night, he shrugged off those feelings, and he got in the car anyway. It's been said that Daysun begged him to slow down that night. The Honda Civic, which is kind of a small car, that Honda Civic that they were in, topped that bridge over there at about 130 miles an hour. 130 miles an hour. That car literally flew through the air as they approached that stoplight. When the car hit the street, it went totally out of control. They hit that tree right over there with such impact that it tore that car completely in half. The front end skidded, swerved, twisted, and turned for about another 180 feet. Now, if you think about a semi-truck and trailer, 3 times. That's how far the front end of the car went. Daysun was in the back seat. While the car, in the front of the car was careening forward, the back of the car came to an abrupt halt and wrapped itself around that tree. Daysun was pitched forward and through the air with such force through the branches of that tree that the branches had to be cut off instead of cleaned. The branches ripped and tore at his body. And then his body flew about another 60 feet. Flew still, even after going through the tree. About the length of that trailer. And then he smashed into the ground and scraped and tumbled and skidded and rolled about another 30 feet. And when he finally came to a stop, there was not a bone left unbroken in his body. That's why we're here today. That's why we're here. All of this is due to Dayson's uncle, Bob Gross. And even after 10 years, that sense of loss is still there. Missed is what Daysun gave to others. His smile, his giving attitude, his compassion for others, his love. Now, a few days ago in the newspaper, there was a very nice article about the event tonight. And Bob was quoted as saying, "It's not what you make in life, it's what you give back." All of these bikes and all of the backpacks and all of the coats are freely given to you, given back. They were bought and paid for. What are you going to give back? Every one of you, what are you going to give back? Now, even though you may not have money growing on trees, you do have something that you can give back. A great deal, actually. You can give back the gift of your time to your kids and your family. Time to talk and listen. Time to play. Time to love. You can give the gift of kind words. Would you talk to another person the way you sometimes talk to your kids or your partner? You can give the gift of your attention to someone else's feelings and needs. You can give the gift of a smile or a hug. Sometimes they make all the difference. You can give the gift of good manners, even in a stressful situation. Show others how you should act or react. You can give the gift of compassion and caring. True compassion and caring from the heart. You can give the gift of hope. We all need to believe. Sometimes that hope is all we have. I'll close with Bob's words once again. It's not what you make in life. And kids, I want you to hear that. It doesn't matter how much money you make. What matters is what you do with it. It's not what you make in life, but it's what you give back. Now, I'd like everybody to kind of say that to themselves out loud. It's not what you make in life, it's what you give. Really listen to those words. What will you give? It's not what you make in life, but it's what you give. Thank you.
Before we close, we will now have one of Bob's favorite songs, Amazing Grace, sung by Alex Baker and Christy Anderson.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me, and like a flood His mercy reigns, unending love, amazing grace. golden portions be as long as life endures. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. My chains are gone, I've been set free. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, His mercy reigns. Unending love, amazing grace. The earth shall soon dissolve like snow. The sun forbear to shine, but God who called me here below will be forever mine. Will be forever mine. You are forever mine.
Okay, we're going to take about 5 minutes to reconstruct and get ready for the giveaway.
That's what I love doing, because I got laid on.